Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today's Thursday, May 4th. It is 6:24 right now. Market's going to open in about 6 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. Couple issues for today. I thought today was Friday, so I requested my payout. So unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be able to take any trades on my accounts today because I haven't gotten the okay to trade the accounts yet. Typically it takes up to 24 hours. So unfortunately, all my accounts are kind of just stuck right now. I try to do it over the weekend or like on a Friday. Today's NFP, so I wasn't really expecting to trade today, or tomorrow's NFP. So I wasn't expecting to trade on Friday. So I requested, but today is Thursday actually. So unfortunately, screwed up there, but it's all good. I did pretty good for this week so far. So we'll still look for entries, but I don't think I'll be able to take any trades on my account. Anyways, post the link above here real quick, and then we should be good to go. But I do have something to show you guys that you guys might be interested in. It's a strategy I used to use before when I was still working my 9-to-5 job and I could only be on the charts temporarily. So I'll show you that's on the 10 minutes, pretty nice. All right, perfect. All right, guys, morning, everybody. I'll get a few moments for people to make their way in. I'm going to go ahead and mark up a couple of things here on the chart as we get started. So let me check the news real quick. Let me just refresh this. Got some news over here. Let's see, news at 4:30, news at 5:30. All right, 4:30, 5:30, 4:30, 5:30, 7:30. $4:30. $5:30. News is right next to each other. And 7:30. All right, perfect. Got that marked up right there. Check my FX book real quick, see if I'm missing anything over here. Not really. 4:30, 5:30, 7:30. All right, that's good. Next thing I'm going to mark up real quick is areas of liquidity over here. I'll do this super quick. Shouldn't take too long. All right, guys. Morning, everybody. Just going to finish marking up these areas of liquidity here on the chart real quick. This is the daily. It's 8-hour. So you guys can see here, it doesn't take that long to mark up these areas of liquidity. It literally takes like a few seconds to mark them up as long as you guys are quick. 2-hour. One hour. $30-minute. $15 and $10. All right, guys, we got all liquidity here marked up. And I think we are good to go. All right, guys. So we're good to go right here. Trend is bearish right now, it looks like. Yeah, so if we look for liquidity here, I'd probably look for it on the sell side. I mean, who knows? We'll see how the market moves on open. All right, guys. Morning, everybody. Morning, Stern. Morning, Kenny. Morning, Van Hartwig. Morning, Daniel. Morning, Stern. Morning, Ruin. Morning, Martha. Morning, David. Morning, Johnny. Morning, Nick. Morning, Maria. Morning, Satya. Morning, AR. Morning, guys. All right, there goes opening bell. Mark is now open. Let's see. Edwin's asking, did you open an account with TFF? Are you seeing slippage? It's funny you mentioned that. Yes, horrible slippage. I would never trade with TFF. I don't know if you've been around before, Edwin, but yeah, I've had TFF. Every time I use them, I do the challenge and I'll pass it in a couple of days. As soon as they move me to the real server, the slippage is horrible. I never get profit. It's like impossible to scalp with them. So I would never recommend TFF for scalping for sure. I think they're okay with like intraday and maybe swing trading, but definitely not for scalping. Did not have a good experience with them. It's happened 2 or 3 times already where I pass a challenge right away, and then once I'm funded, the spreads and the execution times are just horrible. So yeah, definitely would not recommend them for scalping. All right, so let's see, we got the lower low right here. We have a pending buy signal right here. Yeah, no problem, Edwin. We have a lower low right here, pending buy signal. Okay, well, it closed and I didn't even see that it closed, so I didn't take the trade there. I don't know if anyone tried to take it. But I'm not in this position right here. I did identify it, but I didn't. As soon as I mentioned it, it closed. Yeah, I'm not in this position. The market's kind of moving crazy right here on open anyway, so it's not really, you probably want to hold off for a bit here until the market starts to stabilize a bit. Also, this candle here was just way too big. So now going back and just looking at it right there, just measuring the candle was like way bigger than it should be. It was like almost 300 pips. So if you were to take this trade, you probably would have waited for it to swing back up for late entry. I mean, it's all good. I'm not really looking to take anything right here anyways. So just one thing I needed to mention to you guys. I thought today was Friday because I didn't trade on Tuesday. So unfortunately, I requested my payouts for all my accounts today, so I can't take any trades. I thought today was NFP because I thought today was Friday, so I requested my payouts on all my accounts. I typically do it over the weekend, so it's ready for the next week. But yeah, I did it this morning, not thinking that it was Thursday. So I can't take any trades on my accounts. I'll still analyze trades and I'll look for entries for you guys, but I don't think I'll be able to take anything today because I didn't get the okay to go on my accounts. Typically, they take like a couple hours, if not like 24 hours to approve my payout, and then they reset my account back to the account balance after payout. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to take any trades on my accounts. I don't really plan on trading on NFP. That's the reason why I did my payout today. I thought it was Friday. But just want to give you guys a heads up. My week's all screwed up. I'm like all thrown off because it's Tuesday. Since I woke up like super late and I wasn't able to come on the live with you guys. My whole week's kind of like off. So yeah, I just want to give you guys that heads up. So there's not going to be really any official trades because the only official trades I call are the ones that I take on my account. So I will call trades for you guys, but you know, as I just mentioned, I'm probably not going to be able to take anything today, unless I'll be checking my emails. If they give me the okay to go, then I'll be taking trades. But if not, which I don't think they're going to let me know within the next hour and a half, yeah, I'll just keep you guys updated. Anyways, so there's no entries here right now, guys. There's a higher high, but price is breaking, closing past the pivots 1 and 2 over here. So this here is not going to be an entry for a high level momentum scalp. I mean, it looks like if you took that buy earlier for a late entry, it would have hit your TP. So price did swing back up eventually. So this here looks like it would have hit if it, obviously played out, but didn't on open. Liquidity over here is still not knocked out yet. Let's see what the trend looks like at the moment. Trend is still very bearish. So if you are looking for liquidity, it'd probably be on the downside. So you probably want to wait for it to come down, hit this area of liquidity, and take that there for a sell. So you guys will see I have a lot of different charts open here. All these charts are used for different things. So this one's here just for liquidity. This here is going to be the clean chart. So 6:30, 8 o'clock, markup opening price. There you go. So you probably want to look for liquidity down there. It's far from it though. So it's got a ways to go. So this will be for liquidity. This is a clean chart. As you guys can see, there's no direction here. Price just going back and forth. Here's the main chart for the high level momentum scalp. There's no entries right now. Specifically, price is just ranging. You guys can see it here a little closer. It's in a range right here down the middle. I'll mark it up here on the clean chart as well so that you guys can see it. One thing that I wanted to kind of preview with you guys is, so this whole week I kind of just been playing around with the charts. I just remember the strategy that I used to use back when I was still working my like normal attorney job, when I was working my 9 to 5. It's on the 10-minute time frame. It's actually pretty useful because it's like one of those set and forget type strategies. So like, for example, here for US30 on the 10-minute, when I was still working my job, I was in office and I couldn't really be on the charts with you guys like all the time, right? So I wasn't able to do any live sessions with you guys, but I was calling signals. There's a strategy here that I used to use where basically, let me see, I just want to make sure there's no entries here. Okay, there's no entries, so it's fine. This is not going to be an entry, guys, because this candle already broke and closed past the pivots. So this is fine. There's no entries here. I just want to make sure we're not missing anything so that you guys don't miss out on any trades. But basically, the way that this strategy works, and I'll just give you guys a little preview here. I'll probably cover it during the mentoring session or something like that. But like, for example, here, you can see that price is bearish and we have a sell signal, right? What I typically do for this here is I look for a green candle. See how there's a green candle right here? Then at this point, what I do here is I put a sell stop right here to catch price to correct back down. I go for 25.50. 50-50 works too sometimes during New York session. Like when the volatility is high, you can kind of do this for a 1-to-1. But I think 25.50 was like a sweet spot for me when applying the strategy. So basically, you see how there's a green candle here? There's a sell signal, price is bearish, there's a green candle. I put a sell stop right there. So price comes down, it'll come down and fill the order. So right here, price didn't come down. Now there's a new green candle. I'll put the sell stop right here. And I'm basically just waiting for that correction. So every time a 10-minute candle closes, it's every 10 minutes. So you just have to check your screen like every 10 minutes. If there's another green candle, you just move your entry up a little higher. So when price comes down, you can see out here, it's starting to come down. It hasn't come down yet, but it's starting to come down. And you can see right there, it would have filled the order, it would have went straight to TP. So I do this once per momentum signal. The trend you have to be trading the direction of the trend, but you guys can see how easy it is, right? You can pretty much just set this trade and then just let it play out while you're doing some other stuff. There's no entry right here. I was going to show you if there's another one here, green candle, but you can see from these green candles right here that these here never touch. So since they never touch, there's not really any entries there. And I typically wouldn't trade it during like Asia or anything like that anyways, because you can see the volatility is super low. Here's another setup right here. This is like during New York yesterday. So again, right here, you can see there's a sell signal and then price comes down right here. This is like London. You could probably apply this during London. I mean, you could apply during Asia too, but it's kind of harder to apply during Asia. Volatility is too low. So again, right here, you put another sell stop right there. You go for 25.50. You let the trade run through. It fills it right there and it goes straight to your TP. So you guys can see how easy it is, right? So I just want to give you guys a little hint there of like how that strategy works. I'll probably cover it in the next mentoring session. But this is one of the like very first strategies that I used to apply. Back then, I didn't have all these indicators. I just had the momentum indicator. So what I had to do myself, or I had the trend meter actually, I just draw my own my own trend. So it was a little more work back then, but now that I have the pivots, it's easy for me to identify the trend like super quickly. So like back then I would draw my own trend lines, right? And that's where I would pretty much look for the sells. I'm like, okay, there's a trend line coming down, sell momentum. And then when price pulls up, I'm like, okay, price has to come down because it's going to correct back down. So in that situation, I would put my sell stop right there. Another green candle, sell stop right there, basically wait for it to come down and then let it fill, go straight to my TP. So, I mean, it's a lot easier now because I have these indicators that pretty much do all the work for you. Anyways, back to the charts, guys. So right here, there's no entry for us, but it looks like liquidity did get knocked out. So you guys can see over here, the liquidity that I marked up right here. It played out perfect. I don't know if anybody caught this, but I did mark this up on open. I said if price reaches this area, it's an area of liquidity. Went straight down past TP. So if you guys caught that, nice. So Kenneth caught it. He identified it when I pointed it out. Vince caught it. Unfortunately, my accounts are getting paid out right now, so I couldn't have caught it. I wish I did, but I wasn't able to. So if you guys caught it, great work. Solid work right there. Played out perfect, guys. Let's give you guys an update in the group. I wish I caught it. So like basically for this right here, I would just set a sell stop, let it catch it right there as it came down, and it would just trigger my order straight to TP. Damn, this thing is dumping heavy right now. Yep, and there goes the all right. So if you guys have profits to post up, feel free to post them up. Unfortunately, I will not be able to post the profits today. I'm getting a little FOMO, but it's all good. I'm like, man, should I just like trade my personal account? But it's all good. I'll still call trades for you guys. So nice profit right there. So looking over here at Kenny locked in a total profit of 1,190 for the day. Nice work, Kenny. Great work right there on that trade. You guys can see the sell that he caught. He caught that liquidity push to the downside. Amazing work. All right, so there goes that liquidity right there. Next area of liquidity is going to be down here. So pretty much same thing again. Down there. So the thing that you want to be a little bit careful for is when price is overextended. Right now it's overextended, so you probably want to wait for it to retrace up a little bit before you make the entry. This is kind of what happened the other day with Maddie. Maddie, remember when you took that trade and I canceled mine, but you held on to it? You're going to get situations like that where if price is overextended like this, you want to wait for it to retrace back a little bit and then come back down. So just keep an eye out for the chart, guys. I mean, the retracement isn't like 100% necessary, but you probably want to be a bit careful with taking those types of entries. If you guys took the liquidity push, I think it was yesterday, some people took some losses because I canceled mine since other people were saying they were going to cancel theirs. A couple of people held on to it, ended up eating a small loss. So just make sure that you guys are aware of, overextension here. Price is obviously like super overextended right here. It's got to retrace at some point. So let me just move this a little bit. There's no high level momentum scalps here for official entries. Let's see the 1 minute over here. This is for the SR rejection scalps. Drop these zones real quick. I mean, these zones are pretty much irrelevant because the price is so far below. Well, let's leave them there anyways. So there goes the SR zones. This chart over here is used for the SR rejection scalps. And there's no entries for it right now. It's too far down. All right, there goes the liquidity area, guys. I probably wouldn't have taken this liquidity area because, as I mentioned, you want to wait for that retracement. Retracement didn't happen. So I probably, my personal analysis of this, I would have skipped this one because I would have waited for it to retrace. So what I would have done here is I would have waited for it to maybe bounce off and then come back down for a second attempt, and then I would make that second attempt entry. I just did a lot of testing over this past week, and it still would hit TP here. So you can see the strategy works fine. It's just up to your risk parameters, right? If you feel like it's a risky move, then just don't take it. I would have thought this would be risky because of the overextension, but obviously price is just tumbling down super heavily. So if you guys caught that right there, great. I mean, there's 2 entries right here that could have been caught for these liquidity pushes. You guys can see how lucrative this strategy is. Yeah, no, it's pretty solid right there. Here's another thing too that I've been like testing a lot of stuff over the past week, guys. So I have a lot of stuff to like show you guys. If you guys don't want me to show you guys it during the these live sessions, just let me know. We can always save it for the mentoring session. But this is one thing that like a lot of people in the think tank have been testing as well. I didn't really realize CT here. CT's not here right now. CT, Maddie, and let me see if Maddie's here. Maddie's not here either. So CT, Maddie, C-Souk. C-Souk's not here either. Everybody asleep? Oh, no, C-Souk is here. Okay. So C-Souk's here. Maddie's not here. And CT. Like, there's basically this way that you can apply like the high-low scalps, because I know that's like a lot of people's favorite strategy. But what they've been doing lately, and what I've been noticing too, is there's ways to identify fake outs, basically. Super simple, but we'll probably save that for the mentoring session probably next week. So just keep that in mind. If you guys want to cover that, just because I'm probably going to forget unless somebody asks about it. So, just put in your notes or send me a message. Because there's a way to identify high-low scalps, which is like a lot of people's favorites, but not actually take it right away. More so waiting for a confirmation or waiting for a fake out and then looking for entry. All right. All right, so there's nothing over here right now. I mean, we're in a super strong bearish trend right here. These candles are huge. So I think the retracement to the upside is probably going to happen sometime soon. Yeah, this drop right here is huge. There's no SR rejection scalps. There's no high-level momentum scalps. There's just no entries to take right now. Let's see, question from Cameron. Cameron's asking, could you clarify why we identified liquidity to the bottom rather than the top? I identified on both sides, Cameron. So there's liquidity on top. See all the lines up here? I identify liquidity on both sides. I'm never like just identifying one side. So I do identify both sides. There's no liquidity to the top side though, because market opened right here at 630 and price came down. So the first area of liquidity was down here. I never identify liquidity on just one side. I always go both sides. And this is the area that got hit. The reason why I would have been inclined to look for sells here is because overall trend was bearish. So you can see over here on the 1 minute, 5 minute, 10 minutes, it's been bearish since like, go to candles here. It's been bearish since like London session. So 5 minutes been bearish, 10 minutes been bearish. But there's no like I didn't specifically look for sells here. Like I just knew it was gonna come down because everything was bearish. So for that, and then also overall bias here too is also very bearish. 1 minute, 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute, 1 hour, 4 hour. You can see prices below the pivots, trend meter is red, pivots are angling down. It's just all pointing towards a sell. So I knew price was going to come down, but I wasn't necessarily only looking for sell liquidity. Also, if you look over here at the fundamentals, they're currently down 100. They're actually down 282 points. So it's very down right now. The Dow is currently down 282 points. I don't know what's going on. but this thing is dumping crazy compared to the S&P. S&P is only down 30 points. NASDAQ's down 74 points. These guys look like they're freaking out. On CNBC, it says regional bank stocks continue to slide on Thursday with PacWest leading the way down 40%. That's crazy. I always find it interesting how they have these pictures. I know this isn't from today. They have these pictures saved up from like when they need them, but they always have like the best pictures when people are either freaking out or super happy. Yeah, you can see here, they took this picture on April 26th. This isn't even from today. But they make it seem like this is happening right now. Also, looking at sentiment over here, guys, it's pretty much neutral. Typically, you want sentiment to be above like 65%. It's currently 55% short right now. So sentiment's not as useful, but everything else is super bearish. Fundamentals are bearish, and the technicals here are very heavy for a sell. So I mean, we would be more inclined to take sells versus buys. But I mean, it's not going to stop us, right? If we see a nice entry here, like for example, we have a lower low right here. If this candle breaks and closes past the pivots with a buy signal, then that'd actually be a good entry because price would likely correct back up. You know, there's a huge gap right here that needs to be filled. So we're not going to shy away from buys. It's just we'll feel more comfortable taking sells because price has been dropping so heavily. All right, Eunice is asking, would you advise to apply the high-level momentum variation since we have a strong trend? Sorry, Eunice, I'm like confused. Are you talking about the high-level, oh, the momentum scalp variation? Okay, sorry, I was like kind of confused for a second. You're talking about the high-level momentum scalp variation, right? Where did I put it at? I don't even know where it is anymore. Yeah, so anyways, I'll put the criteria up here real quick. Yeah, I mean, I probably would if it continues to stay pretty strong. Man, I got so many strategies here. I got to rename all this stuff because, okay, there we go. It's down at the bottom. High-level momentum scalp variation. Yeah, because everything here is very bearish. So, you know, confirm the overall trend. Obviously, it's bearish. Momentum aligns on the 5 and 10. Oops. Yeah, you got sell momentum on the 5 and 10. So, yeah, I mean, I personally would if you see anything here, but not really seeing anything here. But yeah, if you do see it, Eunice, I would probably take it because the trend down is so strong, but you got to make sure that it actually closes above and stuff. Like for example, here, I know you saw this pending buy signal here. If the buy signal did break and close past the pivots and it closed back down, then this would technically be an entry for that right here. And it would have went to TP, but there was nothing there. So yeah, no, the momentum scalp variation works very well when the market's trending super heavily. So yeah, I would probably take it if you do see anything good. I probably wouldn't take the momentum scalp failure, but I would take the variation. Yeah, you're all good, Eunice. It just kind of sorry, it is my fault because I named a lot of these strategies very similar names. Like there's high-low in so many strategies: high-low scalp, high-low momentum scalp, high-low momentum scalp failure, etc. So I was just a little confused. I thought you were talking about the regular high-low, but no. So yeah, if you see a variation, I would maybe take it. I would probably make sure that it actually that it's like a clean retracement though. Because like, for example, here, this could have been a clean retracement, but it kind of disappeared at the last second. All right, there's another opportunity here for a high-low momentum scalp. I would probably not take any buys here, guys. I mean, for me personally, I know we pretty much disregard that, but the downwards momentum is it's so strong that I don't know if this will actually recover just yet. Okay, so there's no entry here. There's a buy signal here, but it didn't break and close past pivots 1 and 2. So unfortunately, there's no entry here for a high level momentum scalp. We need this candle to break and close past pivots 1 and 2 up here. This here is not going to be valid because the momentum signal was down here. If there was no momentum here and this was the momentum signal, then this would have been okay. But since the momentum signal came before, there's no entry here. Let's see, Citium said took a double wick rejection at final liquidity, 500 pips, moving to demo now. Nice work, Citium. So Citium locked in his 500 pips for the day. Sweet. Yeah, he took the liquidity push. So nice work right there, Citium. Let's go back to the areas of liquidity again over here. And just. All right, so I mean, both these trades already pretty much ran through. Let's go and give you guys a little update in the group for this one too. So that you guys are aware. I know a lot of you guys like to review these trades at a later time, so I'll go ahead and just put that over here real quick. All right, guys, back-to-back full TPs right there. If you guys caught it, great. Go ahead and send in your profits. There's a couple of you guys here who sent in your profits, so I will take a look at that shortly. All right, so we got Cameron over here, total profit of 1,162 for the day. Nice work, Cameron. All wins. Let's see what else we've got over here. Kenny said, hey, Sean, I've watched a couple of YouTube videos on the magic keys. It is interesting. Yeah, no, I mean, they've been around for a while. It is useful. I think now they make a Mac friendly one. Back then, they didn't really have Mac friendly ones, so I wasn't able to use it. It was only for Windows computers. And I just started using MT4 on the Mac like fairly recently, like within the last year. But yeah, no, the magic keys are a cool tool if you really want something like that. I personally don't really need it because I already have my DOM or Quick Trade Manager, but it is cool if it's something that you need, entering and exiting trades if that's an issue for you. But it's a cool tool. All right, some profits over here from Vincent. Vincent's currently up 255 for the day. Nice work, Vincent. Solid profit off that liquidity push not too long ago. And I think those are all the profits for today so far. All right, so we currently have a higher high right here. If price swings back down and provides a sell signal that breaks and closes past pivots 1 and 2 down below, then we have a possible entry for a sell. So we're looking for this candle here to break and close past pivots 1 and 2 with a sell signal. If we don't get that, then no entry. But if we do, then possible entry for a sell. Nick's asking, would you take it if you could? Yeah, no, I would take it. I'd probably take it. Because look, if you look at here, Nick, there's enough space. So you see how price is ranging right here? There's enough room for it to come down to hit your TP. Because it might drop down a little bit. It might not drop down super heavy, like past the zone down here, but it'll probably drop down enough for you to hit your TP. However, if price starts to range super hard here, like it's fine right now where it's currently at, but if price starts to just range super hard here and doesn't actually come down, then I wouldn't take a trade. So, we need that actual push. Like we need that push down. We can't just have it go sideways right here and then all of a sudden it wants to come down. Because if you have that, it's just going to go down a little bit and it's going to go back into consolidation. So just be smart about it. I mean, you know how it looks. Like you've seen this trap happen like so many times, right? So this isn't nothing new to you. You've seen this. If price starts to go sideways, you probably want to skip it because that's just going to open up the opportunity for manipulation and a breakout to happen, whether it be in your direction or whether it be against you. So you don't want to be caught in that position where you don't know where price is going to go. If you know price is coming down, then great, go ahead and take the trade. But if price goes sideways, you don't want to be caught in this because price can really just spike in either direction, up or down. All right, we may have a possible entry right here if it closes with a sell signal. Okay, this next candle right here has a pending sell signal. So if the sell signal right here breaks and closes past the pivots 1 and 2, then possible entry. If not, then we're just gonna have to sit tight. Yeah, exactly. No, that's a good question, Nick. Nick said figured so, just asking for the group mainly. Yeah, no, definitely, Nick. Thanks for asking. I know some other people probably thinking the same thing. I know it's a little harder for us to really like gauge what I'm going to take because I can't take anything right now. But yes, like what Nick mentioned, I would take it and I'll keep providing my analysis for it as well. So, all right, if this candle here doesn't close, then it's probably just going to consolidate for a bit. Probably going to skip out on this. Guys, if you guys are looking to take this, make sure that you wait for the candle to actually close, right? Because it can easily disappear in the last couple seconds. All right, there goes the entry straight to TP right there. So if you guys caught that full TP, Nick, did you catch that? So I gave you guys a heads up there, went straight to TP on open. Should close now, Nick. It's like way down. All right, yeah. So if you guys caught that, great. Give you guys an update for that right there. So I try to give you guys as much of a heads up as I could, but you guys had to be paying attention to it because like literally it closed and then went straight to TP. Vince said he caught it, but it was so fast. Yeah, no, for sure. If you guys caught it, great. I wish I could have caught that with you guys. I would have taken it, but man, it's 4 wins or 2. How many wins today? 3 wins today. I missed out on freaking 3 trades. So let's see, 2, 4, 6, 6,000 right there. It's all good. So I missed out on 3 full TPs right there, back to back, 2 liquidity pushes, and then 1 high-low momentum scalp right here. Kind of annoyed. I think in the future, I'm just going to hold off on my payouts until Saturday now. I really thought today was NFP, so I wasn't going to trade or take anything, but it's all good. I'm glad to see you guys are still profiting though. That's the main thing. If you guys are profiting, great. This just further confirms that the strategy worked perfectly fine right now. So that's a good thing. But yeah, I think in the future, I'm just going to hold off on requesting my payouts for Saturday or Friday after the live session. I typically do Friday after the live session, but for whatever reason this week, I just felt like it was going to be risky on NFP with like the interest rate news and stuff. So I just decided I wasn't going to trade on Friday, but here we are. All right, let me scroll down real quick. Or scroll up actually. Let me see. Question from Edwin. Edwin's asking which moving averages are you using? I don't use any moving averages. These are the pivots. So this is the pivot indicator. I don't really use moving averages. The pivot indicator looks like a moving average, but it's not. It's a mixture of like different data points. It's similar, but if you put a moving average next to my pivots, they're not going to line up the same. They'll be off by a bit or by a lot, actually. I mean, it depends on like which moving average you use, but yeah, I don't use any moving averages. So like before I used to use moving averages, but I saw that they weren't super accurate or they're kind of too slow and delayed. So that's why I created my own pivots here. I kind of just, I use moving averages, but then I also incorporated other factors in, because you can see here that the pivots are meant to identify pivot rejection. So you can see right here, whenever price comes down. So you can see when they start to fan out like this, when they start to come down and they come up and retest the pivot, they bounce directly off. You typically don't see that with like moving averages. Price will typically bounce off, but it's not like a smooth projection like it does over here. Yeah, exactly. C6A pivots are definitely not MAs. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people in the group try to like mimic my strategy using their own using moving averages, but it doesn't work the same because the algorithm that I created to put together these pivots were slightly different. They're meant to identify pivot rejections, not necessarily what moving averages are, identifying like certain direction and trend. All right, so there's no entries right here at the moment, guys. There's no liquidity. Price is kind of far away from this area. There's no area for this either, any momentum. Everything's still very bearish. Let's check the SRs over here, see if there's any new SR areas. No, still the same. All right, so there's nothing right now, guys. Yeah, literally nothing right now. Let me scroll up real quick. I just want to make sure if I missed anything else over here. Let's see. Lucas said, man, every time I wait for a retracement, it goes straight to TP. When I try to catch the straight to TP, there's always retracement. I know, right? Lucas, I think like you just got to stick to one or the other. Because if you try to base them, like if you try to do them differently, then you're never going to find the perfect balance. Because I've done that before where like I typically like the only time I really wait for it is if like I really know it's not going to come down. But for this one right here, I thought this one was going to be pretty smooth because it so the way that I identify if it's going to be a really nice push down, guys, so I'll just go over here and analyze it real quick. So see how we have this higher high right here? It was like a pretty much smooth move to the downside. So if you look over here, really smooth push down, right, into that sell signal. If I see something like this, a nice pattern like this, where price establishes a high or a top, and then it comes down really smooth like this, I'll take it right away. But if it's kind of messy, like, I mean, there's no entry up here, but I was going to say if it was kind of messy, like, no, there's no entries over here. Try to find an example, but you kind of get the gist of it. Like this right here is a smooth push up. It's not an entry, but it's a smooth push up. Same with this right here. This right here is a smooth push down. This is actually a nice one. Smooth push down, I would have taken that right away. But if it's kind of choppy, like going back and forth, then I would probably hold off and wait. So it's all going to come with practice, Lucas. Like I can do it because it's easy for me to analyze it quickly, but I know for you, you kind of think about it a little too much. And then you get that, analysis paralysis where you end up not even taking the trade. Like, for example, right here, I'm pretty sure for a lot of people, they're probably looking at this trade here and they're like, oh, Sean just said it was probably going to consolidate a bit. So, you probably would have waited a little bit. And then as soon as you waited, it probably would have went straight to TP. So for me, it's easy to see. If I just see the setup, like what I used to do in the past, guys, if you guys want to practice like in your own free time, just go to like every momentum signal. So just go back to the momentum signal and then just analyze it. You're like, okay, there's a higher high right here. Smooth push down. Would I take it? Yes, of course, right? And then if you want to go back to the next one, just replay and go to the next candle, you look at the same thing. You got a lower low right here. It bounced directly off the structure. Would I take this buy right here? I know there's no entry, but would I take this buy if it was an entry, right? And my answer would be yes, because it's a direct push to the upside. Blast right through TP right there. So yeah, if you guys want to practice on your own time, just rewind to like every momentum candle and just look back to see what the hints tell you. So like, for example, here, this here price going to consolidate for a bit, but then it came down super hard right here, right? If I saw something like that, like, yeah, of course I would take the trade. Of course, went straight to TP. So, it's just a matter of like practice and repetition. And you'll be able to identify these things a lot easier. So anyways, guys, there's no entries for us right now at the moment. We're still looking for something here to set up. Nothing for the high level momentum scalps. Nothing here for any liquidity pushes. The next areas of liquidity are like way down here. So it's got a long way to go until it reaches a new area down there, and a long way to go up here if it pushes to the upside for reversal. So it's got a long way to go here. There's no liquidity anywhere near. So there's not going to be any liquidity entries. Here is the clean chart. All right, as you guys can see here from the clean chart, price is basically ranging now at the moment. If it breaks past that level, it's just going to go back to the other range down here. I'll just delete that for now because it's not really useful. But yeah, opening price is up here. So price does correct back up. It's got a long way to go. Correction up might happen eventually, maybe today or later tomorrow. But correction price point, of course, opening price. So if you guys start to see price shift back to the upside, so if you start to see a pattern where new higher highs are being produced, right, something like that, target price point is going to be opening price up there. If you guys see that, I mean, it's not that it's going to happen, but I'm just saying if price does come back up, then that's going to be, this is kind of the pattern that you want to be looking for. Price come above, break and retest, and continue up higher. So if you guys see a pattern like that right there, odds of it pushing to the upside are going to be very likely. All right. Other than that, let me see if there's anything else here. It's not really much to look at. So let me take a look at the chat real quick, see if there's anything I'm missing. Let's see. So Medusa said my MT4 is delayed. It's showing candle closing like 3-4 seconds after it does on TradingView. Looking at it right now. I mean, that happens sometimes. That's happened to me in the past. That's why I don't really like the MT4 data. I like to base it off TradingView because we have YM data here, so the data here is going to be more accurate in comparison to MT4. But yeah, no, whenever you see some crazy market movements like this, MT4 typically tends to have like, it either freezes up or the data is just delayed by a little bit. It usually catches up eventually, but I'm looking at the candles right here. The candles are slightly different. See, Nick said he's hoping for a push for a new higher high, then for it to come back down. Yeah, in order for that to happen, you need to push like past this zone level over here. So it's got a long way to go until it does that. Martha said, Sean, pivots are everything. That's my biggest takeaway when mentoring with CSUK. I now include them in all my trades, and it's how I avoided that loss yesterday. Yeah, I think that the pivots are a better indicator for the trend. So a lot of people like to use a trend meter. I like the trend meter, and a lot of people like it because it's easy, but it's delayed. Well, it's not really delayed, but it's laggy. It doesn't really show you the trend at the specific time period. Right? Because like you'll see here, the trend meter is red and it comes down, but it's not a smooth move down. It's kind of, it comes down, retraces, consolidates, comes back down, consolidates, etc. And it's not like super on point with regard to the actual trend. But if you guys use just the pivot, so I'll show you the pivots on a clean chart. So here's a clean chart. Let me just delete the zones here. Okay, so basically the way that you guys would want to look at these pivots is in order, right? So basically wherever pivot 4 is, which is going to be the red pivot right here, I'll turn off the candles right here. You can identify where the trend is, right? So if the pivot 4, the red pivot's above all of them, then it's in a downtrend, right? Price might shift up a little bit, but if pivot 4 is still on top, it's still in a downtrend. When it shifts to the bottom, it's in an uptrend, right? So the trend's super easy to see here. If you guys are able to identify that, you guys can use this easily to identify even more things. Like for example, if you get a sell signal and prices below the pivots and the pivots are fanned out and the red pivots on top, this is like a for sure push to the downside, right? And then also if you're looking in a strong downtrend, if you look for price to reject off these points, like for example, right here, this is how CSUK takes like 100 trades a day because he's looking for these little rejection points. Like CSUK will see this rejection point right here. He'll take a quick sell. Like it's so simple what he does, but a lot of people can't grasp it because it's so, while it's so simple, it's still it's still difficult for people to really get into these types of trades. So like what CSUK does a lot of times, and I see, this is the first way I used to trade before. I see momentum, I see price come down. I look for that first rejection right there and I take the sell. Take a sell limit right there. If price comes back down, straight to TP. So it's like an instant win. Super simple. So yeah, no, the pivots are one of my favorite indicators. Like if I was to just choose 2 indicators and just stick with them 2, it'd be the pivots and momentum indicator because you can catch a lot of trades with just that, with just those 2 indicators alone. So yeah, if you guys ever want to play around with them, I think that the main indicators you should play around with is going to be the momentum indicator and the pivots indicator. You can make a lot of profit scalping using those 2 indicators. You just have to know how to use them properly. I think that's the main thing. A lot of people try to take shortcuts. There's no shortcuts to this. You got to put in the work. All right, so let's see, there's no liquidity here, guys. So don't worry, we're not missing out on anything. No liquidity. Here's a clean chart. You can see prices just ranging in between these two zones. This is the higher high. This is the lower low. Pretty much support resistance at this point. Here's the main chart. You guys can see there's no entries here. We currently have some lower lows, but there is no there's no buy signal. And even if we did get a buy signal, I probably wouldn't take it because the trend to the downside is so strong. Unless we get like a really sharp push to the upside, then maybe, but it's not looking like it here. CJ said, yeah, whenever people start asking a lot of questions about how your indicators work, I side eye it a little bit. Just get the indicators because it's not the same. Yeah, no, a lot of people try to they try to make their own, they try to mimic what we're doing here, but it's not going to be the same. I mean, if it was that easy, you know, everybody would be using these strategies, but the way that we trade here is very different compared to a lot of people. Like, so I kind of went down like a rabbit hole the other day, the day when I couldn't, the day when I didn't wake up for the live session. I was like up like super late because I came across this YouTube channel where this guy was like pretty much reviewing like all the really popular Forex traders, like, you know, all the YouTube traders, like, I don't want to name them, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Basically all the Instagram traders. He reviewed the strategies and he basically mentioned the type of strategies that they use. So like I went back and I kind of like went to see what they were doing, and nobody's doing what we're doing. Like, I don't know one person that trades the way that we do, really. You know, a lot of people use Fibonacci retracements. That's like one of the big things. A lot of people use break and retest. And I think that's it, like for the most part, and supply and demand. And then of course, smart money concepts. I don't want to dive into that at all because that's an even deeper rabbit hole that I'm never going to hop into. But yeah, it seems like a lot of these like Instagram traders and YouTube traders, everybody uses like Fibonacci retracements and break and retest. That's like pretty much what everybody does. And if you guys have noticed, those types of strategies don't really work well right now in this type of market. So if you guys have seen a lot of people in the past, a lot of people are starting to trade the way that we do, but not exactly the same. It's a scalping market. You know, we're in this like crazy market where price kind of spikes back and forth a lot. So scalping is probably the best option. I am testing some Forex strategies though. So I took a couple trades. Like I took this trade yesterday, USD CAD. I have a lot of strategies to show you guys. I've been kind of just like keeping to myself and just trying a lot of these strategies out. But like, here's another one here. Like basically I look at these like high lows that have not been tested, and I look for a retest. But when I get that retest, I look for a V1 variation. So I actually took this trade yesterday. I pulled out halfway right here last night because price started to retrace up a little bit. When it came back down right here, I pulled out for half profit for like 33 pips. Locked in about like 300 or 400 off this trade. I was supposed to make 600 off it, but I just made like 300 or 400 off it. So don't worry, guys. I'm always looking for new ways to make money in the market. Like I never stop. Like I know we have these strategies here that work well. We have like about 30 strategies already and they all work well. But I'm always playing around in the market to find other ways to make money. Like I'm always looking for ways to extract money from the market in ways that other people don't look. So I'm always looking for like different types of entry points, basically using our same indicators here, but different types of entry points to make entry. Because there's a ton of ways to make money in the market. You just got to figure out a way that nobody knows about yet. Because once a lot of people start using a certain strategy, it doesn't work very well. So if you guys look at supply and demand has not been hitting lately. You know, I know a lot of people who trade supply and demand strictly, and their trades have not been hitting lately because the market's different now. It's always evolving. All right, let me scroll up real quick and see what else I'm looking at. All right, Lucas said, okay, I see the pattern you're looking for now. Yeah, hesitated on that entry and missed out because it blasted right through. Also MT4 TV, like 2 seconds off. Should we base entry off the close of candle on TV or MetaTrader 4? So I would always base it off TradingView, Lucas. If MT4 is lagging, then you're actually going to get better entry, because once it catches up, you're going to be like straight at your TP. So I would base it directly off of TradingView for the most part, because you have like the accurate data here versus MT4 or any other broker data that's a little bit slower. Yeah, C6 said once you master the pivots, there's a ton of absolute entries that will hit full TP. Going over training videos a million times are well worth the invested time. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Pivot said, C6 said, think pivots is the compass and other strategies is the map. Yep, exactly. Yeah, Nick said, when I started, you were only taking one 3-minute, sometimes 5-minute or 10-minute pivot scalp entries. Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, the pivot scalp entries still work very well. So like Nick here just mentioned that, back in the day, we used to like only apply the pivot scalp entries. You guys can see over here that the pivot scalp entries still work perfectly fine. So if you guys still want to apply those old strategies, this is the pivot scalp strategy. You can see that we had price come down right here, price retraced, came back down with the sell signal right here, and you would have taken it for a 1-to-1. So this right here would be a full TP for 410 pips. So a lot of my old strategies still work, guys. Like everything here still works. Like price came down right here, retraced up, sell signal. You would have taken this for a short. Right there, 69 pips or 69 points. And that'd be a 690 pip win right there. So yeah, if you guys want to review any of my old strategies, they all work well. But I'm always looking for new ways to make money in the market, because I'm always trying to be like 2 steps ahead of the game. You guys will see that we're always evolving with the market, and I'm always looking for new things that people have not discovered yet. And it makes it easier with these indicators, because you can see patterns off these indicators versus going off a a naked chart. A lot of people hate using indicators, but I feel like a lot of people don't know how to use them properly. Like I've created these indicators myself, so I know how to look at these patterns just by like taking a glance at the chart. Let's see. See, Daniel said a high-low scalp just hit. Yeah, there was a high-low scalp right here, guys. I don't know if anybody else caught it or identified it, but there was a high-low scalp that was right here. Price broken close past this structure right here. And that was a high-low scalp. So again, right there goes another strategy that I created a long time ago. It still works perfectly fine. I didn't take it, but it did play out right there. Thanks, Daniel, for the heads up on that one. Yeah, C6 said, also true with EAs. Too many people using the same EAs. The EA is required to be not modified. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, that's why, like for me, guys, I like to change it up a little bit. A lot of people always ask, like, why am I always changing the strategies? I'm only changing them like slightly. Like for example, here, we talked about the pivot scalp right here. This is still a momentum scalp entry. So like this entry right here is technically like 4 different strategies. There's just different entry points. The momentum scalp is just the sell signal that matches the trend meter. It's red and red down here. So this would be an intraday scalp and a regular momentum scalp. So even though we have like 30 strategies here, guys, like there's over 30 strategies here, there's a lot of them are the same entry. They're just different entry points. It's just like for the pivot scalp, you're using the pivots. For the intraday scalp, you're using trend meter. But you can use a multiple confluence too. Tons of different ways to make money in this market. Candle, Medusa, the candle was pretty big. Yeah, this candle here was a little too big, so I personally wouldn't have taken it, Dan. Yeah, so this candle right here, I know it's a high-low scalp, but this candle here was like pretty huge. It was like 700 pips. I wouldn't have taken it. because I'd be worried that a retracement would happen. But you still identified it, so that's solid. If you took it, great. All right, guys, so there's no entries for us right now. We're still looking for something here to play out. There's no high-low momentum scalp. We currently have a lower low right here. So if we get a buy signal that breaks and closes past the pivots right here, then there may be a possible entry for a buy. As I mentioned, guys, it's a little risky to take some buys right here because the bias for a sell is super strong at the moment. So I'll follow it right here if it plays out, but the candles here are just a little too big. As you guys can see, each candle here is like over like 300 pips. So if that's the case, it's going to be too big for this TP stop loss. You might have to change to a 25,500 or 2550 just to, withstand the push here. Let's see. Nice. Yeah, no problem, Dad. I'm glad that you caught it and you made profit on it, though. It takes a lot of quick thinking to catch a trade like that super quickly. But yeah, no, profit's profit. That's one thing that you guys got to remember, right? Profit's profit, whether it's half profit, partial profit, full profit, or even if it's a profit that's made on accident. Profit's profit. I'll take it. Question from William. William's asking, I forgot to ask, are you using a VPS when you trade, Sean? No, I am not. It's not really necessary. Yeah, no VPS. I mean, if you wanted to trade on, well, I know in the past before people needed a VPS because MT4 didn't work on the Mac, but they have MT4 for Mac now. So a VPS isn't really necessary. So if that's what you're referring to, I know people in the past who were using a Mac and then they just use a VPS to trade MT4 on their Mac, but it's not necessary anymore because they've created an application for Mac. It's not native to the Mac, but it is it's kind of similar to a VPS, but it's kind of built into your Mac. So you can just open it and it'll work directly on your Mac. Let's see, William said, I was thinking because when I travel to the Philippines back home, FTM might have an issue with your location change. Maybe, but I don't think so. I doubt it. Yeah, no, the VPS would solve that because then you can show that you're still in the US. But I don't think it would matter if you're just like consistently trading out there. Like if you're there trading, like say for example, one day you're trading in the US and then tomorrow you're trading in the Philippines and then the next day you're trading back in the US, then that's going to cause red flags. But if you're trading here and then you're trading in the Philippines for like a couple of days and then you're trading and then you come back home, then I think it'll be fine. They're just looking for like stuff where it's like where it's more so where it's just suspicious, right? Because if someone's trading your account, then yeah, you can't be in two countries that are like 16 hours away immediately the next day and then keep going back and forth. So I think you're fine. But if you're really worried about it, just message FTM and let them know. You say, hey, I'm going on a trip. Just want to make sure you guys don't like flag my account. Yeah, because they will flag your account. So you might be better off just letting them know ahead of time so they can actually have it in their notes that you let them know. Thanks, David. David said NBC reported Dow drops 200 points as bank contagion fear returns. CJ said, I still use the old pivot strategies, even Josh's 3-minute strategy. Yeah, I know it still works fine. The pivot strategy works perfect, guys. If you guys like to apply that strategy, now that you guys have mentioned it, I kind of feel like revisiting it. So I might do that today, actually, or tomorrow. I like revisiting the old strategies because they all still work very well. But the thing with this now, the thing with this, CJ, is that we have better confluences now. So we could actually see things a lot better because you can look for a V1, like a reversal pattern, and then look for that pivot scalp, and it's like almost for sure going to hit. Yeah, because the pivot scalp works perfect. It works perfectly fine. I'm just looking at it right here. Price comes down, retraces, entry. Price comes up, comes down. Yeah, because now that we have these extra tools, I might want to go back and just revisit the pivot scalp and see if there's anything else I could incorporate to make it better. The thing that we really liked about the pivot scalp, guys, is that it was a one-to-one strategy. Like I know a lot of these scalp entries that we've been taking lately, they're 3-to-1. A lot of people don't like that. But if you go to the older strategies like the intraday scalp, momentum scalp, pivot scalp, they're all one-to-one strategies. They're actually better in a sense. All right, there's still no entries for us here, guys. As you guys can see, price just keeps dumping lower and lower. We're getting maybe closer to the next area of liquidity. Okay, the next area of liquidity is right here, guys. So this might be the next opportunity for entry. I don't see anything here for a high-low momentum scalp. There's just nothing for us to take here at all. There's not going to be anything over here either for I'll have to come up for a name with this. It can be momentum pullback because we already have a momentum pullback strategy. Or I guess I can call it momentum retracement or something like that. I don't know. I have too many strategies, so I'll probably start renaming the strategies and I'll probably organize them a little better. I think that's going to be my goal for this year for the most part. Because if you guys look at the course, it is kind of confusing. So I do apologize for that because we have so many strategies here. I might have to like create a new section and just bunch these together, like specific strategies with each other. Because I have so many strategies on this list. I know a lot of people who are new to the group, they come in and they're like super overwhelmed because they don't know what to follow. But realistically, it doesn't matter. You guys can follow any strategy and any strategy will make you profitable as long as you just stick to that one strategy and you master it. All right. Currently have a lower low right here. It looks like a support may be establishing at this point. There may be a buy signal here. So if the buy signal does close, this may possibly be an entry for a high-low momentum scalp. I don't know if I would take it though. As I mentioned, guys, the downwards momentum here is just way too strong. So I don't think I'd want to go against momentum that's going down this heavily. Let's take a look at everything over here real quick. Let's do a full analysis of the market again real quick. So looking over here, the Dow is currently down 381 points. You probably don't want to go against, a fundamental bias that's so strong for a sell right now. Yeah, this thing's super strong for a sell. Looking over here at retail sentiment is currently 52% short. So it looks like price might be shifting here. It's 53% short now. So price might be shifting a bit. And the overall trend here is very bearish. As you guys can see here on the 1 minute, 5 minute, 10 minute, shorter time frames, prices below the pivots, trend meters red, and the pivots are all angling down. So right here, it's a strong sell bias. Looking over here on the higher time frames, 30 minute, 1 hour, 4 hour, same thing, right? Prices below the pivots, trend meters red, and the pivots are all angling down. So I don't think I'd be looking to take any buys right now. It's really risky. You're kind of just gambling at the moment. If you look to take a buy right now, I mean, you could get lucky and you can catch like maybe a nice retracement, but I don't think it's gonna totally reverse on us here because everything here is still pointing towards a sell. So yeah, if you guys do get an entry here, and you can see that the volume here is getting super slow, the market is just kind of dying down right now a little bit. I wouldn't even want to take an entry here because if price starts to consolidate like this, it's just preparing for a breakout. So you guys can see here how price is going sideways. When it comes time, price is going to break out in one direction or the other. Don't know exactly when, but it will likely break out one direction or the other. So you're basically taking a gamble here if you're taking any type of trade, whether it's a buy or a sell, because price can spike up or price can spike down. There's no real way to predict it though. So, something to just keep in mind. Yes, there's news there was news right here at 7:30. This was a news candle. Price kind of just died down after the news event. Let me check the calendar real quick. All right, so the news event at 7:30 was natural gas storage. It was negative. So last month it was 79 billion. They were forecasting to be 51 billion. It was actually 54. Not a big change, but it is negative. It was lesser than expected. They're expecting more to be moving, but they only moved X amount. Some more profits over here from Maria. So nice work, Maria. Total profit of 355 for the day, all wins. So great work right there, Maria. Nick said, what was this channel? Oh, the you're talking about the YouTube. I was like, what are you talking about, Nick? Here, let me show you real quick. All right, let me get it for you. Or if anything, I'll give it to you later, Nick. Well, let me see if I can find it. If I can find it right away, I'll give it to you. There we go. Yeah, he pretty much took like majority of like the popular YouTube, Instagram trader guys. Not really YouTube, more so the Instagram trader guys. And you guys know what I'm talking about. It's a flash you guys on Instagram. He pretty much took their courses and then he didn't have anything bad to say about their courses. He just took bits and pieces from them. So like he kind of took the smart route. He took these courses and he took like the best parts of like everybody's strategy and he kind of just created his own, which is kind of what I did, but I didn't really take any courses. I've never paid for a course before or mentorship or anything like that. I did everything through trial and error. All right, so there's no entry right here, guys. I know there's a lower low, but this buy signal did not break and close past the pivots 1 and 2. It broke and closed past pivot 1, but not pivot 2. So this right here, there is no entry. What I would probably look for here is a new higher high and then look for it to come back down. So Nick, if you look at that channel that I sent you, you'll see that he actually tags a lot of other people too. So you can probably look because he started in this group and then he just kind of bounced from like he just kind of joined different groups and then he made friends within those groups and they all kind of just review other people's channels or review other people's courses. And then pretty much gives you like the insight of like what their strategy is like. So it was kind of a win-win for me because I'm not going to say their name, but he was talking about this guy's course that he said it was really good. And actually, I know somebody that has a course, so I went to their course and that shit was trash. So it's like save me money on like buying these courses to figure out what people are doing. Because I'm always curious what other people are doing. Like, how can we use that to our advantage if we want to incorporate it into our own strategies? But yeah, a lot of the stuff that a lot of people that other people use is pretty basic, but they're not the type of strategies are not working right now. Like a lot of the swing strategies don't really work right now because the market's not swinging as much as it used to. Like these entries right here, I'm on the 4-hour for USD CAD. I would have expected this to hit by now. My odd USD too. Kind of went into drawdown, but I was waiting for it to come back down and hit. It's been running for like almost a day now. Right, there's nothing here. Liquidity is getting closer, but it's still not there. There's no high level momentum scalps. There's no SR rejection scalps. There's not even any zones down there. All right, perfect. Nothing for us right now, guys. I was hoping we get a sell entry here, but there's nothing that's coming up. I mean, there's a possible high low momentum or high low scalp here that's coming up. It already touched it though, so if it doesn't break and close past it, there's no high low scalp. This is going to be invalidated. Yeah, exactly. Medusa triple confluence, if it breaks and closes with the sell signal, that'd be a really solid entry. But nope, no entry there. All right, let me scroll up real quick. Let's see, CJ said, so true. After every session, I'll study and I notice that I see more strategies that work as confluence. I love it because it helps me not to forget the old strategies, so they stay fresh in my mind. Yeah, exactly, CJ. So what I would recommend, guys, is if you guys are more experienced with applying my strategies, use multiple strategies as confluence. So like, for example, if you're looking for a pivot scalp, use the trend meter, use the pivots, and also use the high lows to identify reversal patterns. So look for like a double body, double wick off the high lows. And if that's followed by a sell signal, like for example, here, it's a rejection off this zone plus, and it's not a double body, but if it was a double body, if you use that, and if you saw this pivot scalp right here, you could already know that it's going to be a good entry. It's just that, the more confluences, the better. All right, so there's no entry here, guys. Unfortunately, the sell signal did not break and close past the lower low right here. So there's no entry. That would have been a triple confluence if it broke and closed below the structure, but it didn't. Let's see, question from Johnny. Johnny's asking, random question. When you get funded, how long does FTMO take for you to receive the account and for them to reimburse your challenge fee? So I think things have changed recently, Johnny. So typically they take about a week to review all of your credentials and everything, make sure all your trades are cool, you didn't cheat or anything like that. So once you're funded, like this is how the process works. You do the challenge, you pass, you get the verification, you pass. It's usually like less than 24 hours for them to give you your challenge to your verification. And then once you pass your verification, if this is your first time getting funded, then they're going to require you to do a KYC identification. So you're going to have to send in like your passport or your ID to make sure that you're like a real person and you're not scamming. And this is how they link yourself so that you can't make multiple accounts. They just have like one person. So like when you're turning in this information, it takes like about a week because you'll turn in info, they got to review it, then they got to review your trades, and then they got to review your verification. And then within a week's time, it depends on like how many times you've been funded. If it's your first time, it's going to take longer. It could take up to a week. But if you've been funded before and you failed your challenge and you're just coming back, then it's usually going to take like maybe a day or a couple of days. But yeah, basically a couple of days up to a week to get your funded account. And then once you get your funded account, when I first got funded, you had to trade for a full month. I think they've changed it to like 2 weeks now. So don't quote me on it, but I think it's 2 weeks. Like you just have to make profits in the first 2 weeks. You can even take like one trade and then make profit and then just wait for your 2 weeks and then get your refund. But again, I didn't need to get funded like anytime soon. So, or anytime recently. So I don't know how things are anymore. But back then you had to trade for at least like a month, 30 days. So like you'd open your account and then once 30 days have passed since your first trade, then you would qualify for your first payout and then you get your refund. So yeah. And then when you get your reimbursement, I do everything through bank transfer. So it's like a bank wire. It only takes like a couple of days. I think if it's your first bank wire, it might take up to a week. It just depends on your bank because you're getting funds from like an Eastern European country, right? I forgot where FTMO is located. They're located in they're an Eastern European country. So, you're getting a bank transfer from like this country. The bank's kind of suspicious. They're like, why are you getting money from like Eastern Europe? So your first wire might be like, it might take a little while, but eventually it'll be quicker. Like now, if I get paid out, it only takes like about a day, maybe 2 days sometimes. But it's pretty quick because I've been getting consistent payouts from their bank or whatever. So that's pretty much the process. It takes a while. Yeah, Czech Republic, Prague. Yeah, it takes, so you just give it about a week time. Once you've passed your verification, give it about a week time to get actually funded. And then once you get all that information, it's either going to take 2 weeks or a month to get your first payout. Once you get that first payout, they'll give you 2 different payouts, Johnny. So they'll give you one payout with your actual profits, and then they'll give you one more payout which is your reimbursement. So they'll give you 2 different bank wires. or crypto, whatever you want to get paid out through, bank wire or crypto. I prefer bank wire because you go straight to your bank account. And once you guys get that, I would probably recommend that you guys have a business bank account at that point, right? If you know you're going to get a payout, just go to the bank and open a business bank account so that you can deposit into a separate account. So then you can start getting write-offs. Like you guys can start writing off all your subscriptions. Like if you have a subscription to K2 or Kodi Kai, you guys can write that stuff off. So you get all that stuff for pretty much for free. You get to write off your FCMO challenges, your MFF challenges. You get to write off everything pretty much. So that's where it starts to get fun because you'll have a lot of stuff there. This right here, Daniel, is not a V1 because you need a pending sell signal. I was looking at that too. So I was looking at the same exact thing, Daniel. I was looking for this for a V1, but you need a pending sell signal. Since there's a sell signal here already, it wouldn't be an actual V1, but I was looking at the same thing. It's still a reversal pattern though. So if you see a double body like this, it's a reversal pattern, but it's not a V1 or a V2 because you need a pending sell signal. So the reason for that, Daniel, is because, so the reason why you want the sell signal is because look, if you measure the sell signal, it's like at least 100 pips, right? So the reason why you want a pending sell signal is because if you get a V1 variation and then you get a sell signal right here, it's like almost guaranteed to hit your TP, right? Because you're going for 100 pips. So if each candle here is like at least, 200 pips, like say, for example, you get a V1 and then you get a sell signal right after, that sell signal is going to blast right through your TP. So that's why you want the sell signal to be pending, because what you're doing, you're pretty much predicting that breakout to happen. So you're basically, you're predicting the breakout before it actually happens. So like, for example, right here, there's like a double body, right? Double body. And then see how there's a sell signal right here? If you're only going for 100 pips, you're probably going to hit your TP before that sell signal. But if you have to wait for the sell signal, it'll blast right through it, right? It like literally will blast through and then give you even more profit if you get slippage. So that's why you want to wait for the pending signal, because you're trying to get like 2 steps ahead of the game. Like you already know the breakout's going to happen, but you're waiting for it to pretty much confirm so that you can get a bigger push. Like for example, right here, see how this is breaking out? There's a buy signal. Like if you had a V1 variation from the bottom and you had a buy signal right here, blast right through and hit your TP. All right, so the market's starting to move a little crazy now. If you guys can see, huge green candle right here. This would not classify as a high level momentum scalp because it can't be on the same candle. Yeah, the market is starting to pick up a bit. Volume's picking up pretty heavy. It looks like the market makers are trying to push price back up. So they're trying hard to get price back to the upside. Obviously, I'd be a little careful. Be a lot of careful, actually. Yeah, be careful if you guys are looking to chase that. So this right here would actually be a V1. Yeah, I know if that's one that you're looking for. This right here could possibly be a V1. Looks like it hit TP already. Yep. So this right here is a V1. So I just wanted to show you guys, this is an actual V1. So there's a double body rejection right here off this higher high. Pending sell signal. This is an example of an actual V1 variation. So straight to TP. Daniel caught it. Nice work. CJ caught it as well. So you guys can see I have a lot of strategies here. We have the high level momentum scalp, V1 variation, pivot scalp, momentum scalp, triple confluence that people are looking for. Let me just scroll up real quick. I think Vince had the question about that. Let me scroll up real quick. Martha said she's up 2% for the day, logging off. Have a great day, guys. Definitely, Martha. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Vince is asking, sorry, I forgot about forgot, but what three entries make up the triple confluence? So for the original triple technically you can make your own triple confluence, Vince. In order for it to be a triple confluence, you just need to have three strategies on one candle. But the one that we're referring to is a high-low scalp. So it doesn't happen too often, but when it does happen, it typically works really well. You're looking for a pivot scalp plus a high-low scalp plus intraday scalp. So it's three strategies in one. So we call it a triple confluence. So first you want to confirm overall bias. You want to confirm a valid momentum signal. You want to make sure that that signal matches the trend meter. You also want to make sure that price is below the pivots or above it, whether it's a buy or a sell. And then fifth, you want to confirm that price is breaking and closing past pivots 1 and 2. Or sorry, it's breaking past the high-low. So basically you're looking for a high-low scalp. And I'll just show you an example here. I know this isn't an entry, but this is an example. So you're looking for a high-low scalp like this right here, candle break and close below, but you also want this to be a sell signal and you want the trend meter down below to be red. So you basically have all those right there, and that's going to be an original triple confluence. Technically, triple confluence just means three different strategies in one. So if you can find other different criteria, then obviously that works too. But this is probably the easiest way to identify it because we've been applying it that way. Yeah, no problem, Vince. And no problem, Johnny. All right, let me see if there's anything else here. All right, so there's a pivot scalp coming up right here. There's no high-low momentum scalp though. Actually, there is a high. Okay, fuck, I missed it. Sorry, guys. I didn't notice that this was a high-low momentum scalp, but this here was a high-low momentum scalp. I just realized that this candle here broke and closed past pivots 1 and 2. So this here technically was a high-low momentum scalp. I'm not in the position, but I've just been trying to show you guys, entries that are coming up here. If you guys are just joining the room, I'm not taking any trades today because my accounts are getting paid out at the moment, and I haven't gotten the green light to trade on them yet. So I'm not in this position right here, but this technically is a high-low momentum scalp. The market is moving kind of crazy right now, so I don't know. I'd kind of be a little careful with taking entries here. The reason for that is because price is shooting up and then it's coming back down. I think price will continue to come down, but I think at the moment right now, it's probably a good time to sit out because of the current market conditions. I don't think there's any other news today, but the market isn't really moving too smoothly after the 7 o'clock news. There's more news over here at 8:30, but that's like a while from now. It's just been a crazy market day for us today. Glenn's asking, are you back on TFF now, Sean? No, I'll never go back to TFF. Everyone keeps telling me TFF got better, but I don't believe it. So no, Glenn, I'm not back on TFF. I'm probably never going to go back to TFF. If I do open an account with them, it's going to be for a different type of strategy. It's not going to be for scalping because TFF is not good for scalping at all. You'd probably need to use it'd have to be like a bigger range. So guys, you guys can see how there's a lot of fake outs happening right here. This big candle right here would have been the biggest red flag for me, because now that we have this huge candle right here, you got to determine whether price is going to correct back down or it's going to just come right back up. Right now, it's just in a big range. And also these candles here are just too big. So if you guys look at every candle right here and you measure them, the candles here are huge. So if your stop loss is 300 pips, it's just too tight. You're going to get caught in a lot of fake outs here. And if price does swing up, you're just going to get caught in those moves there. So unfortunately, but fortunately, I wasn't able to take any trades today. I missed out on 3 back-to-back wins that we had over here during the live session. But it's all good. It happens. All right, we have some more profits over here from Vincent. Vincent said he hit his TP and he hit sell on his MT4. So Vincent, as soon as he entered the trade, went straight to his TP. Total profit of 510 for the day. Nice work, Vincent. All wins. So great work right there. And then we have Patrick Stevens over here, said he climbed his way out of his net positive. He's done for the day. So Patrick over here took a loss earlier. Looks like this was last night. So we took a loss last night, made it right back right now. So total profit of 72 for the day. It's all good. It happens. But the good thing is that you brought yourself back into to profit. All right. So CSUK is done for the day. Looks like a lot of people are done for the day. So, all right, guys, if you guys have any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. It's 7:54 right now. It's getting really close to 8. Just looking at how the market's moving right now, you probably don't want to be trading because price is pretty much just ranging between this area. So it's not going to be you're not really going to get too many good opportunities here for entries. Price is super overextended to the bottom. So I think price will be making its recovery at some point now. I think one thing to look out for is that break and retest that I mentioned earlier. So like, as you guys can see, price is starting to make its way up. If price swings its way up, what I would look for here, guys, if you guys are still looking to trade, is I would look for price to break, come back down, provide a V1 variation rejection off this structure right here. If you get that V1 variation off the structure, then it's probably going to be the confirmation that price is going to correct back up. If price corrects back up, target price point for correction is going to be opening price, which is right here. I forgot to mark it up today. Yeah. So this is the pattern that I would recommend looking for, break above, retest, look for a V1 variation, reversal pattern. So basically break, retest, V1 variation, and then correction to the upside. That's kind of what I'm looking for here. If I was to be looking for a correction to the upside. The thing with US30, guys, that you guys need to understand is that it's a bullish asset. So like it'll be bearish right now, but eventually it will correct back up at some point. There's gonna be a point of correction, at some point or another. So, all right. Other than that, guys, I think that might be it. So if there's any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Again, if you guys are new here and you guys want to review any of the strategies that I covered today, I covered a lot of strategies, and there's a lot of new strategies that I've been testing that I will be probably discussing during the mentoring session if you guys would like. I'm going to keep testing it myself, but if you guys want me to cover it and show you guys what I mean, how I apply it, then just let me know. I'm here to help you guys out. I'm always looking for more ways for you guys to make money, and myself included. There's not too many people here. There's like less than 100 people here in the chat. So like, I'm fine with sharing these profits with you guys. I just don't want there to be too many people. Like if we have like 1,000 people in this group, then my strategies are not going to work they're not going to work as well as they have been. So yeah, other than that, guys, if you guys are new here and you guys want to learn these strategies, just go to our website, kodikaitrades.com, click on unlock your free access right here. Once you click on that there, it'll take you to the next page, which is the course. This is what the course looks like. I'll just point out a couple of strategies that we discussed today. So I think Eunice mentioned the momentum scalp variation. So if you guys want to look at that, it's going to be over here under module 4. That's one strategy. The high-low momentum scalp strategy, that's what we've been looking for our official entries. Scrolling down lower, if you go down to K2 trades SR ejection scalp, that's one other strategy that we've been looking at. That's the one that's on this chart right here. It's good for a sideways market. Right now, price is not in a sideways market, so it's not necessarily the best strategy to use, but it's really good to use during the summer when the market is moving sideways. So it's a summertime strategy. Scrolling down further, all the scalp strategies are right here. So if you want to look at the high-low scalp, it's right here. Pivot scalp right here, triple confluence. I pretty much discussed all these strategies today. High-low scalp, pivot scalp, triple confluence, variation V1, V2, V3, etc. So all the strategies are on here, guys. But yeah, so I guess that's about it. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, we're going to wrap this up for the day. It's 8 o'clock. If you guys don't have to trade, I'd recommend just sitting out of the market. And if you guys are done for the week, I would just call it a week, guys. It's NFP tomorrow. It's supposed to be a really crazy NFP because of everything that's been going on lately with the interest rates and the recession. So if you guys don't have to trade tomorrow, just sit out the market. But I will be here and we will be looking for some entries. So